Hey, what's up everyone, it's Patrick, and welcome to my guide to the Void Stairs back on RuneScape 3. On screen right now is everything you need to prepare yourself for this quest. Most of this is fairly self-explanatory. I just want to cover the items needed. It's basically all combat related stuff as you get into quite a few fights. I would recommend using melee. For your armor, you'll eventually need a full set of stuff, but in the beginning, keep the helmet, body, and legs in the bank for now, as something else is going to be going into those slots. Other combat related items such as potions, multiple full inventories of food to fill up your inventory now, as well as to restock later, but in the beginning, leave 5 free inventory spaces. Anyways, feel free to pause if you need it, as I'm going to get into the quest now. To start the quest, go to the Falador Park, speak to Karasi, and accept the quest. Head to the Black Knight's Fortress. You can get near there by using a combat bracelet to teleport to the monastery or the Edgeville Lodestone. Put on the 3 pieces of bugged Black Knight armor and enter the fortress. Continue the dialogue and you'll be teleported away. Speak to Captain Gilroy. Attempt to take from any of the numbered crates and finish the dialogue. Take a block from each of the 5 crates. Speak to Captain Gilroy and select options 3, 3, 1, 5, 2, 4, or refer to what's written on screen. Once again, the options are 3, 3, 1, 5, 2, 4. Click on the scale along the south wall. You have to place the weights in the 8 empty slots by selecting the slot, then the weight you want. If you mess up, you could reset the whole thing using the button at the bottom, or right click each slot to reset them individually. The combination for the top row is 3, 5, 3, 4, and the combination for the bottom row is 2, 2, 5, 6. Open the security doors to the southeast to proceed to the next room. Kill all the pests and pick up the security blocks that they drop. Speak to Captain Gilroy and select option 2. What do we do now? Exit the area using the door in the northwest corner. Go northwest to the room with the furnace symbol on your minimap. Search the crate in the southwest corner of the room for a limestone brick. Head directly east to the jail. Search the crate in the northeast corner for a piece of hard leather. Go north to the kitchen. Search the crates in the southwest corner of the kitchen for some logs. Head back to the furnace room. Repair the tiny forge. Use the logs on the tiny forge, then click on the forge again to light it. Use the broken security block on the forge to repair it. Go to the southeast corner of the room where the door is. Open the doors to go in. Head south into the next room and put the security blocks in the blank spaces in the wall. You can also see them as red lines on your mini map. Open the security doors to south. Open the panel on the western wall and select option 2, search the panels for magical traps. Open the panel again to get a puzzle. For this one, you simply select a piece and place them in the correct spots. I put the entire solution on screen. The yellow lines I drew are to separate each piece so you can see their shapes. You just have to locate the correct pieces and put them in place. They do not have to be rotated or anything like that. Just pay attention to the shape of what you're selecting and the symbols on them. Click confirm once completed. Open the security door to the east. Go through a dialogue and cutscene, select options 1, 3, 1. Speak to Crossy. Speak to Commodore Tire and select option 1, I'm ready. Enter the portal and go through a cutscene. Select option 1, you bet. You now have to play a modified game of Conquest, which is a mini game. If you already know how to play it, great. If not, I'll try my best to explain it. It's kind of like chess. The idea is to take out all your opponent's pieces before they take out yours. If you look, you should have this tab open in your game. Then there's more tabs within that tab. The first tab tells you what phase you're on. Selection phase is choosing one of your pieces. Movement phase is to move it. And combat phase is to use it to attack, assuming it's within range of an enemy. You can only perform these actions with one piece per turn. The rally phase is just if you need to do anything extra, like using abilities and whatnot, which I'll get into in a second. And once to skip a phase or end your turn, that's what the buttons at the bottom are for. If you go to the second tab, these are your abilities. You can hover your mouse over them to see what they do specifically, but you may notice they're grayed out in the beginning and there's a number next to them. That's because each one requires a specific amount of points to use. That's what the command points at the bottom are for. I think you're automatically given 25 at the end of each turn and more for each enemy you defeat. Each one also has a specified cooldown period, so use them sparingly. I wouldn't really use them unless they actually help you in some way. For example, something Something I like to do is to use Battle Cry and Charge together. Battle Cry increases your damage and Charge increases how far you can move your piece. I would only use this combo if by using it, it puts me in range of an enemy that I can one hit, because if they survive, they're just going to move on the next turn and that just feels like a waste. But yeah, point is, use it at your own discretion. By the way, if you hover your mouse over the edges of your screen, it'll move the camera around, allowing you to see more of the board. If you want to see what each piece can actually do, including your pieces and your enemies, you can right click each one and select details. It'll tell you how far they can move, their attack range, how much damage they can deal, and how much health they have. By the way, if you don't one hit an enemy and they're in range to do an attack as well, they're able to counter attack you. That's part of the reason why I prefer one hitting them if possible, or else you just lose health for no reason. Your champion piece is probably the best piece you have. I would recommend trying your best to keep that one alive. You do have a regenerate ability, which gives a piece its full health back. I also put up on screen ideally who the biggest threats are, but I wouldn't necessarily try to target them in this order. Like for example, I consider a Ravager the biggest threat, but I wouldn't go attack it if it's all the way across the board and it's gonna take me like 3 turns to get over there. The problem with this is the one piece you move there won't be near any other pieces, and if you lose that one piece, you won't have any other piece near it to take it out. Basically, you sacrifice a piece for no reason. But yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say about it, so feel free to start it if you haven't already. Continue the dialogue after you win. Enter a door to the north. Continue the dialogue and you can choose who you want to save. Speak to Valuta, the turtle looking thing, and you can ignore chat options. You can teleport out now to get supplies. I would recommend going to Falador. Go fill your whole inventory with food. You can wear a full set of actual gear now. Melee is recommended. You can't have a main hand weapon though, as one will be provided to you. And bring anything else you need for combat, such as potions and whatever. You might also need to make a slight adjustment to your ability bar. I wouldn't use ultimate abilities in this fight as it uses up too much adrenaline. And you need the ability that allows you to do special attacks found under Constitution abilities. The special attack is called Disrupt with the weapon they're going to give you. I suppose you could also bring adrenaline pots, but I don't think is necessary. This is also not a safe death. Once you're geared up and ready for fight, you'll go speak to Sir Tiffy in Falador Park, which, by the way, if you die, this is also how you get back, and I believe your gravestone will be in front of the portal in the room in the Black Knight's base in Taverley Dungeon. Speak to Sir Tiffy and select the option about the Void Knight, then option 1 for I'm ready. Enter the portal. Speak to Karasi or Jessica, whoever you chose to save, and select the chat option about the sword to get the weapon you're going to be using. You can drop a food, wield the sword, then pick the food back up. Alright, now the Pest Queen fight. She uses melee attacks, so you can protect from that if you want. There's really only one thing you need to look out for here, which is when she looks up in the air and she starts shaking. If you let her charge up this attack, it'll hit you for a lot of damage. It can be stopped if you use the sword special attack Disrupt while she's doing this. Once again, it's found under Constitution abilities. You won't be using this constantly, but this ability still requires 60% adrenaline. The reason why I don't recommend using ultimates is because it drains too much of your adrenaline at once. The attack doesn't happen that fast, so if you use Threshold, you should have some time to recover that adrenaline. She can also heal, but it's not a big deal, it just drags the fight out. I did this with no armor or anything besides the Karasi sword, a full inventory of sharks, which I didn't even use all of them, and I didn't even know where the special attack ability was at first, which is why I was scrambling so much in the beginning of the fight, if you notice. Point is, if I could do it under those conditions, you should be alright. After the fight goes south, speak to Jessica or Karasi, whoever you chose to save, and you can select any chat option. When you finish up all this talking, that's going to end the quest. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell for future videos to come if you haven't already. There's also a link to the description below for my Patreon, donation link, Twitter, and Discord where you can interact with me. Donations can also be made directly through YouTube now with thanks option near the like button below the video. Anyways, catch you later. Peace.